Good morning, traders. Welcome back to another live stream. If you are new, my name is Zach. This is Real Deal Futures. Before we hop on these charts on this beautiful Thursday, May 7th, make sure you view what's on the screen. Trading is risky. Most traders do lose money. I'm not a financial advisor. I do not provide financial advice. Nothing I say or do is a suggestion or recommendation to do anything at all. Make sure you do your own research, make your own trading decisions, read CFTC Rule 4.41 on simulated trading, which is what this is, even in funded prop firm accounts. And the affiliate and partnership disclaimer, this is I stand to make money from links and codes in my content. Like code RDF, the prop firms that I trade with, a whole bunch of fun stuff. Guys, what's up? How are we doing this morning? Getting ready for NYSE to open up. Let's see what we can do. Let's see what we can do. We are back trading in the top one futures, a top one futures live account. Why am I not live on X? What's up? X, what are you doing here, brother? What are we doing? Well, I'm not gonna mess with it. What's good, Twitter? What's good with Twitter? There we go. We're live. No, there's something wrong on Twitter, but I don't know. Whatever. Chat. This market cannot be stopped. I'll be saying good morning to you guys in just a minute. We'll be answering questions as always. We'll be yapping for a couple hours here, hanging out, seeing if we can't make some money. Made some money yesterday. 2 trades, both short. Ask me why. I do not know. Ended up about $500, a little over $500 in profit on the top one live account. Took a payout yesterday. Trading this bad boy again with you guys today. I've got a handful of accounts that I have to trade today on the sim side with Tradeify and Alpha, making a run with those guys. Top Step as well. Got a handful of Top Step accounts rolling. Lucid, I am waiting on my live account from them. And Top One, I got kicked back into one live account with Top One, so I just have the one. Market opening up right now, guys. I'll get into some higher time frame analysis on all of the U.S. indices in just a moment. Here we are taking a look at YM. Aggressively pushing to the upside, man. It's just close your eyes and buy. This market really has just been just close your eyes and buy. Just buy anywhere. And I saw a lot of jokes like, how do you trade this? What do you just like wake up and long? And like, yeah, you just wake up and long. Session changeover, you long, right? You long here, you long here, you long here, right? You wake up and for NYSE you long, for NYSE you long in here. You just hold longs. You know, I was taking shorts back to VWAP yesterday. On YM. Again, YM very different than NQ and even ES. Very different structure that we're seeing on YM. I'm going to have to short this again, man. It's not giving me any dip to buy. It's really not giving me any dip to buy. Here's what we got today, guys. Consolidation in overnight session. Choppy back and forth, albeit pushing to the upside, putting a bullish bar in here. Next area of consolidation before all-time highs is right in here. We might just run today. But I gotta short this again. I don't want to, but it's the setup that I trade on YM. Again, it's tough to short this bullish market. It's paid me a couple times here at YM. Again, I will defend my shorts on YM. Very different, right? Very different here. Very different than what this looks like on NQ, right? Here's all-time highs on NQ. Here's NQ. Very different. Very, very different. If you're on NQ, just take the sell button off your computer for a while. If we push to the upside here off the open, I'm going to fade this. I'm going to fade this into the 300s. That would be my play on YM. We're not doing that. We're aggressively opening up, push to the upside, and now we are turning back to the downside quite quickly. We do not have, just to talk news on this, we do not have news today. We have no news, and tomorrow we have high-impact news. So I actually do like this for a choppy back and forth day. I could definitely see that happening ahead of NFP Friday. Headlines have been driving the market. Data has really just been underwhelming as far as the reaction from the market compared to whatever Trump has to say on Truth Social. But we still have conflict in the Middle East. We still have a ton of conversation going on over on that side. I'm just taking a look at headlines right now. But overall, traditionally, right, if we are Thursday, no news ahead of NFP, it would kind of make sense. The market hasn't been making too much sense. It would kind of make sense that we have a choppy back and forth, day today, right? Still positive comments out of the U.S. administration on the war. I'm not supposed to say the W word. Please, nobody say the W word in chat. Yeah, just continual drive to the upside. A lot of positivity across a lot of different sectors in the stock market that I think are helping this. There's a lot of comments as far as it shouldn't be as high as it's going. I'm not going to be here to make sense of that. I'm just going to try to trade what's in front of me. Here on YM, that would be a short. That would be a short if we continue that pop to the upside, which we're not doing. Let me see if I can pull something outside of the daily, right? Into this area, we do have an area of high volume, like right in here that we just traded towards. And yeah, that's pretty clean, actually. We're rejecting off of that. I was looking for a little bit of a push higher. Stops outside of all-time highs for a mean reversion trade. We're not getting that. We popped really quickly, and now we're back to VWAP. So this could make for a choppy back and forth session today. I could also see, just, crazy to say that we might move lower. I could also see us potentially moving lower, right, ahead of NFP. Kind of just that calm drift lower ahead of a positive NFP where we just run highs and really just squeeze shorts even more than we already have across all the indices into Friday, into the end of the week. I could see that happening today. So opening up, push to the upside, sweet pre-market high, and then back down. Not much by way of a range in here, just to take a quick look with you guys. Plenty of room to move to the upside or downside. Plenty of room to pull back and not break the big push to the upside that we've seen out of this area. Whoa. Longs. Where would longs be in play? Anywhere, really. Longs today, guys. Where would those be in play? We got a lot of overlapping volume points of control right here. Like, a lot. Thursday, the 30th volume point of control. Friday's volume point of control. Yesterday's volume point of control. What is this? The low 900s, high 800s. Yeah, I wouldn't mind something in here. Let me just go ahead and throw this at the 900s. I wouldn't mind something in here. That would be a crack of pre-market lows, right? Crack of the low of the opens. Pulling back down to the low end of this volume profile here. It'll give me a way to structure risk for a mean reversion style trade. And it's also not hitting the sell button, which I'm going to try not to do. I think if we come outside of this low here, outside of this area, outside of yesterday's volume point of control, we could drift down here a little bit. But if we're actually going to start closing below this level, where do I think we're headed next? To this next zone down here, right? I think we would quickly be back down to this next area of high volume, right? Maybe down in here. That's all we would have to do before a dip. But I think if we start pushing below, let's say the 850s, like aggressively, we start closing down below here, we could be in for a nasty pullback. And that would be fine, right? Like, just higher time frame, just to take a look at this. Like, that would be fine. That would just be a little blip and then, more of an uptrend, right? Like, we wouldn't be breaking any, high to medium time frame structure if we sold off aggressively for, 500 points today, right? And then turned back to the upside. So that could certainly happen. But for me, longs in play, let's say below the 900s, that would be a dip through VWAP. I don't like that we opened up to the upside. In fact, I hate that we opened up to the upside. I would have loved for us to sell right off. I don't like that we took out pre-market highs, picked up liquidity, and now we're going to dump. That doesn't bode well for this trade. It's not as good, right? It's just, different structure and context for the session that we're looking at. But I definitely wouldn't mind that below the 900s. Yeah, 200 point stop wide would be really nice. Maybe even a little bit wider. Could run this back up to VWAP and then potentially higher today. So that's what I'm gonna look at. NQ just like so strong, dude. It is just incredible, really. Like this was really cool to watch. Get rid of that. This was really cool to watch. I know we've talked about NQ a lot. This was really cool to watch, right? And I caught some longs off the low end of this. I really am disappointed at how I didn't capitalize in here And I think a lot of traders are disappointed how they just have not been able to capitalize in here. We crack all-time highs, and, you know, we push a little bit higher, and then everybody goes, okay, that's enough, right? Like, we're done. I'm scared to long now. And then what do? We just keep running, you know, thousands and thousands and thousands of ticks. Incredible strength. Really just incredible strength out of this market. Just continues to hold VWAP, pushing off of session changeover, pushing off of NYSE Open. You know, just look at the daily candles, right? You know, we're cracking prior day high with hardly ever cracking prior day low. Not here, not here, not here, not here, 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 here. We cracked on this one. Swept prior day low here. Not here. We swept prior day low in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You know, so when you have daily candles that look like that, it's not only a big bullish day, but it's like a bullish day with no pullbacks. It's just, you know, it's really incredible to watch. Longs, continuation traders, breakout and hold traders, runner, you know, traders that hold runners. This is the market for you, right? This is the market for you. You know, I think if you trade that way, and that's really how you view the market, in here you got smoked, right? You got cooked. Or, you know, you're trying to be patient and survive for this next big leg, right? You know, you're not going to be able to capture everything, right? You're not going to go, well, today I think we're going to range and we're going to do this. And then all of a sudden down here, for no reason at all, I think we're going to push, right? You're usually not going to be able to capture everything. So, you know, wait for your market conditions to arise and then, you know, send it. YM still very strong, right? Overall, very, very strong. We came off these lows in a similar way, but we didn't continue, right? We didn't show as much strength in here. We certainly have had a lot. Look at this structure on YM, right? Certainly a lot more days where we broke prior day low, right? Without breaking prior day high even. We had some big bullish moves in here, but plenty of down days where NQ just has not. Same with ES. Different market. YM lives in its own world. Not different market, you know, US indices, but YM does live in its own world quite a bit, right? It's obviously a different US index. It's weighted differently. The underlying stocks are different. You know, it's different. Which is why I like to trade it for this choppy back and forth mean reversion style of trading a whole lot more than NQ. NQ I do like for more of a continuation style trade. Get in, wide stop, wide target, hold on to it, you know, for a directional movement. Anyway, watching this push to the downside, potentially looking long at off of yesterday's volume point of control. We got, you know, a little bit of structure in here to trade off of. We obviously got some highs in here. This is a pretty key level, right? I think if we start to come through this with force really aggressively, we're coming down here today, and I would just be dead wrong on the longs. This gives me a way to structure risk. I like it because it is with the trend. I'm trying not to hit the shorts. Trying not to hit the sell button. But that's the idea for today, guys. 49,900s on YM. I'll be looking long with discretion, right? You know, what happens when we get down there? How do we get down there? What does price action and volume look like? What does order flow look like? All the tools that I use. Right? Questions, comments, concerns? We'll talk about it. Chat! How are we doing, guys? What's up? What's up, man? Dwayne, what's going on? AJ, what's up? Vincent, what's up? Fast Money, good morning. AK, Miss K, Tom Ward, good morning. Rob, good morning. Amorse, what's happening? Zach Trays, good morning. Another Zach, what's going on, dude? Zach, Zach's Trades. You got a nice username there, man. Solid. What's going on, man? I'm gonna have to check out your channel after the live. What's happening, my man? Hansel, what's up? Mahid NQ, what's up? Good morning. I thought you were in Tampa this week. I sent you an important message. Peace. I sent you an Instagram message. I will send you a message, man. Tampa is next week. For those of you guys that don't know, I'm headed to Tampa with a crew of goons. A whole bunch of the goons, man. Let me see if I can pull up something that shows who's headed out to Tampa. Yeah, here we go. This is a good one. This is sold out. This is obviously sold out. There's no tickets. You can't come. Sorry. But this is who's headed out to Tampa with me. Super excited. It is Austin Silver's event. There's a whole bunch of guys from his team. James Bruce, the other Zach A, Tanner, the strong trader, Lawrence, the investor, Brian Shannon. There's a couple other guys that are not on here, but Brian Shannon, the godfather of Anchored VWAP. Evan from ASFX, Randy from ASFX, this ugly kid over here, I don't know what's going on with him, man. He's like trading live all the time. He's got a couple live accounts, but I don't know, bro. Someone needs to tell him to trim his beard. Chris Drysdale and KV. Got a whole bunch of people headed out. This is a 2-day event in Tampa. It's Thursday and Friday of next week. I will not be live streaming next week, just so you guys are aware. Wednesday to Friday. I'll be live with you guys on Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday, I'm flying over there, and I'll be prepping a little bit beforehand. They'll have a whole bunch of videos like they did last year after the event. They don't live stream it, obviously. It is a paid event. There's over 100 people going out there, man. So if you missed this one this year and last year, if you have the opportunity to make it to the U.S., you want to go to an awesome event next year, whenever it comes around, if it comes around. I don't know if they're going to do the exact same thing. I'd look at it. So that's next week. That's next week, guys. I will be in Tampa with a whole bunch of heavy hitters, man. A whole bunch of heavy hitters. Excited about that. I love the in-person stuff. I'm a guest speaker there. I'll be trading live out there. I'll be on some panels. And I'll be having some fun, man. I'm really excited. I got a couple of you guys coming from my community. I'm hyped for that. I got a couple of people that I know that are going from, Austin's community. And then a whole bunch of those guys, obviously, I'm super friendly with them. I'm yapping and texting them, all damn day. It's awesome. Really awesome, man. I'm super excited. Super excited. Yeah, man. So yeah, no live on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday next week. No live Wednesday, Thursday, Friday next week. Monday, Tuesday next week. That's what I got rolling. And then I'll be trading live in Tampa. What's up, Gus? Rhombus, what's happening? Nate. Yep, stop right there. No shorts allowed. Rhombus, what's up? Dwayne, what's going on? Son of Wall Street, what's happening, man? Gonna take me a while to get bright as the sun chart. Yeah, man. What's going on? You guys were talking there. What's happening? What's happening? 30MD30, what's up? Nate, wish you could be there, dog. I hear you, man. Listen, again, man, it's in due time for everybody. It's got to make sense, right? What I do as far as me is free 99 across the board. That's a paid event. And even if it was a free event, it costs money to get out there. It costs money to stay in a hotel. This stuff costs money. So you have to decide where you are in your trading, where you are in your life, and that makes sense. For a lot of people, that's not going to make sense. It's not at all going to make sense to spend money on a ticket, to spend money on a flight, going out to a hotel. For me, I think there's an enormous amount of value in that type of stuff. Obviously, I'm biased. You watch me go to other in-person events, free events. We've hosted free stuff down in Fort Lauderdale before we went down to Columbia. We had a free trader meetup for, a couple hours down here. But even that involves travel and time away. So you have to decide for yourself, man. It's not going to make sense for everybody, but no worries, man. It's not going to be the last one of those. It's not going to be the last one of a ton. Traders for a Cause, another big one, pretty different, not really futures props focused, more on like options and, stocks. Max Options Trades has, I got to meet him a couple weeks ago at the Ninja Trader event. Huge event, massive event in Hollywood. I'm definitely going to that one next year. There's a prop for a match event in London. If you're in Europe, I might be out at that one. Prop for a Match guys will be out at Tampa, along with reps from a whole bunch of companies. Outside of those idiots that you saw, as far as, me and a couple of guys, I'm not calling Brian Shannon and some of those guys on there idiots. Outside of all of the traders that you saw on there, there's also reps from a lot of the companies. There's reps from Bookmap. There's representatives from Prop for a Match, representatives from multiple different prop firms. I think the guys from TradeZella will be out there as well. So not only do you get in front of traders and guys that trade live and share their journey and people that write books about trading, you get in front of CEOs and, developers of the companies, some of the biggest, software companies in the trading space. So it's awesome. But again, multiple different events, man. So find your way out there. I love this, guys. I really do. Love being behind the screen and talking to you guys and connecting, free. The in-person event stuff is epic, man. There's nothing like getting around your people for multiple days. It's very immersive. You're not alone in this space. And outside of even everybody that I'm talking about, the 100+ people that will be out there, you guys, the traders, you're able to connect. You're able to make friends. You're able to find people that live close to you, right? You're able to find people that are on the same journey as you, that trade the same way, that struggle with the same things that you struggle with, and there's strength in numbers, right? You know, you'll find people that are farther ahead of you, that are, you know, doing things that have helped them, push them along, and you'll find people that, you know, maybe you can help out. And that in itself, that collaborative type of community, it's just so powerful. And, you know, it's over-exaggerated because we don't have it here, right? Like, if you run, there's run clubs everywhere. You probably run with a lot of other people. You know, trading, it's like, yeah, we have Discords. We have, you know, the online space. You have all these people that you interact with. You guys are here every day. I feel like I know you. You feel like you know me. That's awesome. But, you know, getting around your peers is also really important. So find your way out to this stuff, guys. You know, there's other stuff in Europe that I don't know about. You know, look up in-person events, and I would encourage you. I've never left anything that I've done in the trading space, or really almost any other industry, feeling like upset, right? Or like, oh, it wasn't a good value. You might, you know, listen. I'm sure you're going to listen to some people, you know, everywhere that you go, that you're like, that doesn't really resonate with me. I don't like the way this guy talks, or I don't, you know, understand him so much, or whatever. But if you leave an in-person event having talked to so many people and put yourself out there without having multiple different massive pieces of value that you're taking away, I think, you know, you did something wrong, right? And I can say that for every event that I've been at, all the ones that I haven't been a part of. So anyway, that's my thoughts. I'll be out in Tampa next week. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, no live stream. Be back in action the following week. Push to the downside here on YM. Waiting to see what we do here, guys. Again, not a super eventful week for me on YM. Kind of interesting structure to trade off of. I've honestly, like I said, you know, I've captured some overnight trades. I said I was refocusing. I've refocused more. I really would have liked to capture, so would everybody, right? More of this move on NQ. I keep going back to it, but you know, it's just the easy longs, man. Anyway, looking for a test down here into the 900s, see if we can't catch a long. Yeah, this is marked up pretty well. Ready to roll. Cool. Let's see. You guys were talking in the chat. What's going on? Sloth on kick. Good morning. Short off London high. Beautiful. Took a short right in here. Nice. Aggressive short. Very nice. Morning, guys. Wish you could make it to the boot camp. Have somewhere to be that weekend. Gotcha, man. What's up, guys? Zach craving a short all-time highs again. CFTs less stressful. Guys talk about CFTs versus futures. See you, Zach. I even got tickets to the VIP dinner. Nice. Awesome. Hyped to see you guys out there. That's good, man. Hoping it works out for you. Still news trade. Oh, you guys were talking there. Clay, what's up? Driving to Florida from Nashville. Tuning in. Currently long gold from 47.15. We have Clay B. Hodges in the chat. In case you guys didn't know who this was, Clay is founder, top one trader, top one futures in the chat. What's going on, Clay? He's long gold in the car, cruising down to Florida, coming out to be at the event, man. Epic, dude. I'm hyped to see you next week, Clay. Nate, shorts, orb on the low. What's going on, guys? Late to the stream. What's happening, Sam the Trader? What's happening, Purple Ninja? What's going on, guys? What's going on? Yeah, I've had a handful of people hop on the stream. I had Wix hop on the stream. I had Time to Eat hop on the stream. I had a handful of people hop on the stream, man. I gotta say what's up to some people. I gotta hop on some more people's live stream and hop in the chat. It's a good reminder. I'm gonna do that after I end today. I'm gonna go say what's up to everybody. But let's see what we can do. Again, guys, we are here in the Top 1 Futures live account. Shout out Top 1 Futures. Gonna see if we can't put some money in this bad boy. Got kicked in, was it the night before? But yesterday was day 1. Ended up putting a little bit of profit in here with you guys trading live. Took a payout. See if we can't keep that ball rolling. Forgot to turn the fan on there. Let's see. YM continuing to push to the downside here. I'm sitting patient. No trade. No big movement yet. Interesting pullback here. I like it. I like it, especially as ES and NQ hold, right? ES not really holding. ES pushing the downside. NQ just can't be stopped. The bulls just cannot be stopped. Let's see. Pushing to the downside here, man. Drifting lower. Drifty. Let's see, man. Let's see what we get here. Chat. What's going on? Clay the man. Yes, sir, brother. Watching you debate short indices now. Clay answered that question. Matt will not be out in Tampa, but Clay will be there if you guys are looking to connect. Yeah, one of the really awesome pieces of the in-person stuff, getting to connect with, like I said, not only the traders that are out there, the representatives from some serious companies, really serious companies, prop firms, software companies. It's awesome. And your peers, you guys. There's very few experiences like getting around other traders. Like, when usually, I'm sure you guys experience this if you trade. Nobody knows what the hell you're talking about, right? Nobody knows what you're talking about when you're talking about prop firms or software or the markets in general. Like, nobody knows what you're talking about, right? So to sit down at a table, and I repeated this a couple times this year, but it was from last year. It was so cool. Like, I'd be walking by a dinner table, and they're talking about prop firms, they're talking about top one futures, they're talking about Bookmap, they're talking about what NQ did, crazy volatility, they're talking about VWAP. I sit down at another table, they're talking about, debating risk to reward over here, and they're, talking about going on tilt and how difficult, the psychology piece of trading is, and journaling. It's crazy. You just don't get to have those conversations in real life, like outside of randomly finding another trader in the wild, which is so few and far between. So it's really, like, I can't stress how fun that is for, a couple days to get around your people, And I think in a lot of other industries, you have that, right? If you're into cars, you go to car meets all the time. You drive by the nice gas station. Everywhere you're going, there's other people with cars that are talking about, motorheads and whatever, model. They have a lot of the same stuff. We do not get that at all. And that outlet just to yap about trading and have other people around you understand what you're talking about and be going through the same things and working on the same stuff. It's cool. It's really cool. And I definitely felt that early on, like really isolating, in the trading space. You don't have that outlet to talk to a lot of people, right? If you head to the gym, you're in the gym every single day around a ton of dudes that are, lifting or girls or whatever you're doing. You'll find people to work out with. You'll find people to talk to. You get your gym buddies going, right? You're talking nutrition. You're talking different workouts and all that fun stuff. It's tough to do that in trading. So you can find a community online, which is awesome. And what I encourage everybody to do, find a good Discord. Find somebody that's live streaming like me, maybe. Maybe you find somebody else if you don't like me. And then get yourself out to some in-person events, man. Watching this thing sell off, dip down here, crack pre-market lows. Again, guys, NFP tomorrow. No news today. Really no red folder news today, right? I'm sure we're going to get some headlines. We're already getting some headlines right now. Headlines out of Ukraine, info on Shell, talking about crude oil and you know, the whole deal. That's going to move the market around. But no scheduled news events and then a higher impact news event tomorrow. I could see this chopping. And here was our... Let's use array or something that's a different color. Here's our pre-market high. Here's our pre-market low. Where's our pre-market low? You know, we've now swept pre-market high, come all the way back down through. That would have been a beautiful short. Sounded like somebody on Kick took that one. Very nice. Too aggressive for me. I'm curious to see if we actually get a little bit of an extension down below here. Or if we're going to just kind of reject and then create this tight, choppy range here. This isn't enough. It's getting close. This isn't enough just yet for a long. NQ just pushing towards all-time highs. ES is selling off a bit. ES turned to the downside. Not really continuing down below this this high volume node. Yesterday's value area high that we are near. But down below VWAP, headed back down towards pre-market lows. YM the weakest out of all of these. Crack at pre-market lows. We got a bearish, you know, bar right now getting put in on the daily, as you can see here. It's kind of interesting, I like this long, but it's just not enough for me, man. If I get in here, let's just you know, frame this out. 200 point stop at target just to start to get a reference point. It's not exactly what I'd go with. Yeah, I'd like a stop like way out here. Man. So I'm gonna wait for a little bit more out of this. To the downside, like 950s even wouldn't be bad. Coming into 10 a.m. here, but I don't know that we get that. We could just pull this choppy back and forth movement here. Yeah, I'd like something like way out here, and I'd like a, you know, a fill somewhere in here, right? I mapped out the 900s. That would be pretty sweet. Stops way out here where if we sell off, you know, I'm just completely dead wrong. Arbitrary take profit, but that would give me a, you know, a nice way to grab profit coming right back into VWAP right in here, right back into current value point of control, right back into the top end of this high volume node, where if we are just going to chop, right, if we're kind of just going to do this, and, you know, just kind of do nothing ahead of NFP, I could still grab a win. If we're going to, in fact, pull back and take off, I could grab a nice win, right? If we are going to sell off, I'm grabbing a loss, right? If we're going to, you know, sweep the highs and then just completely dump, you know, I'm on the wrong side of the market, no problem. So that's what I'm looking for here, guys. I don't know if we get this. I'm not going to get involved here with a stop loss right here. You know, I don't think that's great. So I'm waiting for a crack lower. Long story short. Let's go like 250 and 250 on stop and target just to have an order entered, and then we could adjust once we get in. That's what I'm looking at here, guys. And I'm actually going to go... I'm going to try this. TradingView has just given me the worst fills. Just, it's so slow, the data that prints on here. So I'm going to try this trick. This limit offset. Essentially ask -5. Maybe compensate a little bit for how slow it moves. Maybe ask -6. Let's get rid of this for now so we can watch the market. Might be all we have to do. This might be all we have to do. Right back into pre-market lows. Again, you know, map this out. We could chop right in here. Let's see, chat. Let's see, chat. Let's see. Chat. How are we doing? Appreciate Claire wanted Matt to sign my copy of his book, Unemployed Millionaire. Nice. NQ is actually on drugs. What the F? Yeah. Yeah, NQ, not on drugs. Just constant bullish action. Just wake up and buy NYSE. You know, it's not my play. It's not something I'm doing right now as far as NYSE session for NQ. Overnight swings, I've had a couple of them. Just longs, man. Just longs. Unreal, you guys over top. What a fantastic. Awesome, man. Positive reviews there. Yellow folder unemployment claims at 8:30. Yeah, saw that. Grabbed a long off of VWAP. Nice. Very nice. At this point, starting to think certain admin officials have made trading their inside. Yeah, I mean, like all of everybody that works in the U.S. government is just, you know, they don't make any money doing what they do. They make money, you know, trading. You know, Pelosi, the best inside trader ever. But it's allowed. It's legal, you know. As long as they're allowed to trade, they're obviously going to use that information. Listen to this, man. It's just one more short. Funny, man. Hey, Zach, hope you're doing amazing. Drop the question in the main chat, Discord. We love your insights. I will absolutely answer. I will absolutely answer after the live session. Morning, morning, morning. Divergence between NQ and ES. I have gone long NQ. Let's see. Earnings season. Yep. It is earnings season. It is earnings season. That definitely is affecting the markets as well. Yeah, man. Interested to see what we get here. Sitting patient. I'm not going to get involved here. Definitely not get involved here. I think we could take off from this low. You know, if I wanted this long, the time is now. If you want a really aggressive long, you know, there's your really aggressive long. If you wanted a really aggressive short, there's your really aggressive short, right? Off of pre-market highs. I'm not playing it that tight. I don't do that in general, and I'm not doing it today. So I want to see if we can get this dip lower. Give me an entry for a long, back towards VWAP, back towards current volume point of control with the trend. I would be happy to take a stop on that if I had to, right? Insane. All-time highs again on NQ. Just continuing higher. 28,827's traded out right now. Absolutely insane. Yeah, man. It does make you question. It does make you question. Why don't we just wait for NQ to go on a run and then long it every day until it doesn't work anymore? And then wait for the next one. Man, yeah, I am a little bit cautious. If we start to roll over here, guys, just with how much weakness this has already shown, if we start to roll over across all of these, YM could really take some heat. YM could definitely take some heat here. I'm long YM. Let's see. Nice. Nice, nice. Man, oh man. Man, oh man. Still drifting lower. We might get this one. Drifting lower. I am just wondering if, like, ES is going to turn to the downside. Again, I don't trade all the US indices in correlation. It's really hard not to pay attention to what all these guys are doing these days in this just wild push to the upside, headline-driven market. I'm curious to see what happens here as YM starts to push lower. Putting lows of the day in right now, pushing down below this 15-minute bar, headed towards the 900s. So take a quick peek at ES here, which is rejecting off of VWAP. Yeah, I'm gonna take it if we get this little drift lower. I'm gonna take it if we get this drift lower. Waited patiently. Didn't get long off of pre-market low. We'll get long down near yesterday's volume point of control, down near the 900s. Low end of this volume profile. Simple trade. You know, again, I don't love that we cracked the high and then sold off, right? I don't love that. But this is a pretty aggressive move to the downside. I think we could catch a nice wick down here and pop back up. Do we get down to my area for an entry? I don't know, right? Do we get down here and then catch the bounce back up? I don't know, right? I'm gonna go with this limit -6. So essentially what I'm doing here is I'm trying to compensate for how slow TradingView is moving with a limit order. Either a bid plus or an ask minus on a buy to give myself a little bit better fill, because it just feels like I'm getting absolutely destroyed on fills. Could miss an order, could miss an entry by doing this, but I'm gonna test it today. Test it with you guys today. I played with it in the past, but I'm gonna play with it again. I can't stand feel like I hit the market in and I'm immediately 10 points in the red on YM. Plus, I usually don't take zero heat on my trades, right? So let's be honest. Waiting for a nice crack lower, guys. Through the 900s. Obviously, if I wanted to be long off the 900s, I could throw a limit order right there. I'm waiting for a crack down in here for a long back up towards VWAP. Nice wide stop loss. Talked about this mean reversion style trade on YM quite a bit. I don't mind getting long today. We could turn and sell off really aggressively. My concern in here is just that I miss it being a little bit too patient. We start to turn back up to the upside. I'm waiting for this crack lower. I think we could push about another 40, 50 points to the downside here. That's going to give me my entry. Close. Close. Yeah, we got some liquidity down here. Let's see if I could buy into a nice push lower. Let's see, Chatty McChat. Let's see what we can do here. Catch the wick before 10:30. Pop back up. leave IB low, go and crack IB high, run it to the upside. Finding buyers in here near the 900s. Looking at ES on Bookmap. Oh, come on, man. No, I gotta wait on this. I'm waiting on this, guys. I want to see the crackdown in here. We got some liquidity on the book down below. We might not do it. It might be right off of yesterday's volume point of control. We might not want to peek down here. But I need that for a really wide stop because I do think we could see some nasty selling pressure. And, you know, the earlier that I run this in here, the worse my fill, the worse my stop. I think we could see a nasty wick in here just to clean everybody out, shake out weak longs. And I don't want to be part of that. And I will still miss the trade by not hitting long just yet. Not hitting buy just yet. Let's see. Traded towards the 900s here. The 10:15 a.m. candle. Do I want it from right in here is the question. Kinda ES turn into the upside. Are we gonna fill this, man? Maybe not, guys. Maybe not. Staying patient, staying patient. Ooh. Ooh, nasty volatility in here, guys. I'm looking to buy into this. Are we going to give this up? I'm going back to a market order here, guys, because the limit's just going to be all over the place. This is obviously going to be a headline here. Could just be some nasty volatility to clean out some of those orders, but this could be a headline that drives us lower. Quick wick. I'm buying into this, guys. That's my level being hit. It's definitely on a headline there. This could go very poorly, but I am long. I'm long from 914. We swept down, traded right through that last bit of liquidity on YM, right down to the, what's the low here? Yeah, through the 80s. We traded the 878. That's what I wanted to see. I don't love getting long right into whatever the heck that headline that I'm probably going to read is. But I'm going to take it. I'm going to take it here. Take it here for the move back towards VWAP. We started this one with a 250-point take profit and stop loss. Here we go. Iran foreign minister returned from China and did not go to, I can't pronounce the other country, on the way back. So that's what's breaking right now. That's what's breaking right now. Maybe the market doesn't like that. We got Trump on True Social. That doesn't look like it has anything to do with the headline that just broke. At 10:16 a.m. they have that marked. So not a ton of follow through to the downside on that just yet. But let's see. I'm going to go arbitrary take profit, right? Way outside for a take profit. Fixed stop loss. I'm going to leave this way wide. I'm going to leave this way wide. About $1,250 worth of risk on this one. Yeah, I think we could dip down here really aggressively. We might catch another one of those violent movements. And if we are going to pop back up and chop ahead of NFP, this is a spot where I want to be long. If we're going to absolutely sell off and dump today, right? If it's just going to be a nasty turn to the downside and, you know, we're going to come off the highs by 600 points, I'm on the wrong side of the market. gives me a way to structure risk. I'm happier finding myself hitting the buy button today, guys, and not shorting all-time highs again, even on YM. So at least if I take the L, I can say I got long. At least, at very least, I can sleep a little bit better, not have to post that meme again. So that's my trade, guys. Long from 49,914, 1 YM mini. Stop at 49,661. At least for now. I really don't know that I need to stop that wide, but I'm looking at this volume profile from a higher time frame. Again, I'm trading off the 15-minute. I love trading off the higher time frame. Not that the 15-minute is a high time frame. The 1 minute is just a super duper low time frame. I'm okay. I'm okay with a wick in here. Like that's gonna be okay. We can see a nasty crack down here. I'm okay for that. I'd like to survive that for the push back up. So I don't want to stop right here. I don't really want to stop even right here because I think we could just dip our toe to this next area of volume, right? Kind of peek our head into all of this, right? Come and peek our head into all of this, although that's not what I'm waiting for, right? Otherwise, I wouldn't want to be long where I am here. I'd want to be long down here. But I still want to be long here. I really don't want to even be out here, but it's an intraday trade, so I have to structure my risk in some way. But yeah, that's the play, guys. That's the play. Let's see. We definitely have headline risk here, guys. U.S. Treasury Department imposes new sanctions related to Iran, sanctioning an Iraqi official over Iranian oil sales. So we got more headlines breaking. A lot of times as this stuff starts to get reported, if it's not coming from the U.S. administration and Trump, they start to chime in, and then the market really starts to take off. So just to talk about what I've been seeing using Squawk, if you guys want to hear about the platform that I use for the fastest news headlines, it is Squawk. But let's see. Let's see if we can't run this one back up. That's my trade. Send the trader good luck. I'm learning there's no such thing. Waiting for the IB. Just waiting. That's for me. That news event got me. All I want is a normal market. Yeah, there's no normal markets. There's no normal markets. It's just the market. And whatever it's doing is, normal, right? That's kind of it. Out of the green on NQ. Remember yesterday we were talking about moves made before NYSE session, and today is the first day in, a week in which NY engulfs everything in the first hour. Yeah, Rhombus. We've seen a ton of overnight session movement, right? Asia can still do this, right? Like chop and do absolutely nothing for 9 hours, right? And then it's on a headline that we move. So I'm still not giving into the trade Asia session propaganda because this is not it, as the kids say. But, if you look at the move that we had from overnight session, session changeover, what us on the East Coast call overnight session, it's been primed for swing trading. It's really been primed for swing trading, which it's not always, especially in the U.S. indices. It's oftentimes just nothing going on until NYSE. But not this year. Definitely not this year. So we got some movement here. YM still drifting lower. I really don't like that ES cracked back up to the upside, back through VWAP, headed back towards, we putting highs the session in? Headed back towards the NYSE open here. YM is just continuing to drift lower. NQ, what is NQ doing? Just ripping everybody's face off to the upside. Just non-stop longs in control on YM, on NQ. Absolutely insane, dude. Absolutely insane. Crazy, man. Crazy to watch. Disappointing to watch. We had some rejection here a little bit. We had buyers try to put up a fight, but no real push to the upside. This is feeling, obviously now, right? Easy to say, or not easy to say because I'm in. This is feeling weak. This is feeling very weak. I don't like that we did not reject after that news where we wicked lower, took out the 80s, Popped right back up and then kind of sat here and now drifting lower as everybody else is pushing higher. Still just coming outside of this high volume node. I still like this. Again, I like it all the way until my stop loss, or else my stop loss wouldn't be there. Might have to take some heat on this one for a move all the way down in here. I would prefer not to do that, but that might be what's in store for me today. Would have loved to see the really aggressive rejection right in here. We started to see it, but just a continual drive lower for now. Let's see. Let's see. Pushing towards lows at 10:30. I don't love that. I definitely don't love that. But we put our trades on without reservation or hesitation. And pray to the gods, the market gods, to make us green. No. We let it play out. Right? We let it play out. Let that law of large numbers play out. Let's see. Be thankful we're not trading USD JPY. Been stuck in the same opening P&L for 30 hours now. Wow. Started a small long on NQ at 817. Nice. NQ is on gear. Yeah. NQ is on peptides, bro. NQ's taking everything under the sun. Market just cannot be stopped. Let's see what we got here today, chat. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Couple reminders, like we were talking about. First off, if you're new, welcome to the show. Hope you guys find some value today. I'm here trading live almost every damn day, 9:15 a.m. Eastern. Next week, no live streams, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I'll be live with you guys on Monday and Tuesday. Hop in the free Discord. If you're not in the free Discord, I will throw the link in chat right now. Where are we at? For the 100% free trading Discord. I always keep you guys updated. Boom. Also, if you are not in Discord, not paying attention, or you just haven't heard yet, we got giveaways running all over the place. Giveaways here on the live stream, giveaways in Discord, giveaways everywhere. One of the giveaways that we're rolling right now this week, use code RDF. If you're buy a prop accounts, I'm partnered and affiliated with a handful. Top 1 futures. You see everybody posted on the bottom of the screen. I'm not going to go through the list 47,000 times. Use code RDF at all of your favorite prop firms. Fill the simple form out in Discord. Get a chance to win multiple prop accounts from multiple prop firms. Not only are you going to get yourself the best deal and support me and support the channel, you're going to get an entry to win one of multiple prop accounts. Excuse me. If you want to check out any of the prop firms that I'm trading with, the software that I use, all the fun stuff, feel free to hit the link pinned to the top of the chat. Should be pinned to the top of the chat. Is it pinned to the top of the chat? No, yeah, it's pinned. Pinned to the top of the chat. I'll throw it in again. Hang on one second. Bang. All the best deals on prop firm software, everything that I'm using, trials, all that fun stuff. Discord, feel free, guys. I'll throw that on Kick as well. I like the longs at yesterday's POC. Won't be taking it as I already made my profit today. Yep. I went long at previous POC in a paper trade. Nice. Yeah, this thing's pushing the downside, man. Aggressively moving lower for now. Yesterday's volume point of control is hit. Not getting a rejection just yet, really at all. Again, I really don't like that ES has completely cracked higher, came off the lows, and NQ has continued to push highs, while YM is just drifting lower. If these guys start to turn back down and chop, it could give YM the, the reason to move lower. Again, still like this trade. Got to put this one on for sure in a bullish market. Finding longs off of a key level, what I would identify as a key level. Multiple volume points of control. High volume node down here. Down below pre-market lows on a very nice bullish push to the upside. Is that going to be enough? Do we have to push to the upside? Do we have to chop today? No. Could be in store for just a bearish day, despite the other guys cracking to the upside, right? You know, could have to come all the way down in here, right? Really aggressively lower. Try to shake out weak longs ahead of NFP Friday. But let's see. 10 coming in on 10:30. Be hanging out with you guys for a little bit on here. Dear Zach, please give Zach this win. If you don't, he may never go long again. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Yeah, dude. I don't know. You guys always want me to go long. Everybody's always yelling at me about shorting all-time highs. I don't know. I was short yesterday and made money. Now, I mean, look at the longs here, guys. I mean, I don't know. No, it's tough to be a bear in the U.S. indices. It's really tough to be a bear in the U.S. indices, man. I think you got to take a ton of punishment. And in general, you know, you're fading a market that is just engineered to go higher for a number of different reasons. 10:30 a.m. hitting right now, guys. Let's see what we get. Key time frame, initial balance getting put in. I'd be surprised if we don't crack the IB low here on YM. That does not bode well for my trade. Of course, I entered 15 minutes ago before we pushed another 90 points lower. So we're getting some positive stuff. Just broke. Maybe that's the reason for the crack. Obviously, 10:30, we have some data coming in as well. Natural gas stocks change. We got one getting reported from current negotiations between the U.S. and Iran, the closest they've been to ending the war. INA reports. They got that marked as a headline. Natural gas storage coming in, getting a little bit of a reaction to that. Let's see what Squawk has got to say for me. I'm asking these guys a question. If you guys have not checked out Squawk, you know what? Let's talk tools today. I usually talk prop firms. You guys know what I'm trading, right? A handful of different prop firms. I'm trading with 2 live accounts, or I haven't been moved live just yet. I haven't gotten the live account, I should say. I got kicked live with Lucid. I'm trading a Top 1 Futures live account right now. So I'm trading with both of those guys. Absolutely epic from both of them, right? Also, now added in Tradeify and Alpha to my suite of rinsing the prop firms. I'm trying to leverage everybody that I can. I've continued to trade Top Step as well and take payouts from those guys. I think MP tweeted at me or something this morning. I saw my Twitter start to blow up a bit. Yeah, I'm going to respond to this one on Twitter, but make sure you're following on Twitter. This is going to be fun. Let's see. Let's see what New Squawk has to say. I like to ask New Squawk's analysts some questions. I don't bother them too much, but I was curious today what they had to say, if there was a news or data-related reason that they were going to identify that I have not. Their comments, just to give you guys a little bit of insight, New Squawk is a paid news service. I'm going to show you it real quick, in case you guys want to know where I'm getting news headlines from faster than everybody else. This is a paid news service. They have some of the fastest I've found, in my humble opinion, news, right? News, breaking information, headlines, True Social, Twitter posts, scheduled news releases, a ton of different stuff that you could set up in here, complete research suite with a ton of different reports. You could also ask them questions, which is great. If you guys want to check out News Squawk, I will throw the link in chat right now. Hang on one second. Hang on. There it is. Code RDF gets you this for $19.99 for the first 7 days. It is not cheap. The cheap stuff ain't good. The good stuff ain't cheap. Maybe if you don't care about news, you don't care about headlines, you're just getting started out, a free news site or just following stuff on Twitter that's going to be very delayed is going to be enough for you. Maybe you want up to the millisecond speed, where outside of just the headline that you're seeing here, what this really does, and I don't have it on right now because I'm yapping to you guys, is Squawk, hence the name News Squawk. They have some competitors with Squawk in the name. It's humans at a news desk, specifically for this, in front of a microphone, waiting to read live news alert. They stream live all day with extremely low latency, and they're waiting to read the breaking news before they can type it up, before it's published, before it's on everybody's site, to get it to traders as fast as they possibly can. Banks, institutions, obviously a lot of high-level companies will use this type of stuff. It's been incredibly helpful in insane breaking headline markets to just get this stuff as fast as I possibly can. But one of the other things is you have access to an analyst, one-on-one real humans, not AI, to ask them questions like I did this morning, which was, is there any news or data-related reason that I might be missing on YM? Pushing lower today. Got some volatility coming in right here. Super delayed on TradingView. Wow. Or is YM just not moving on that? No, not really moving on that. Their comments there. Strong outperformance in tech in general. Software names rising. Likely helping the sector. Also, tech helped by lower yields. So that was their data news related reasons that NQ has just been outperforming along with ES. Right? So not anything huge, right? They might have said, yeah, you idiot. Did you not see what happened to, one of the major weights in, YM and, a company that just completely underperformed earnings. And, it's the fourth largest company in the Dow. And I'll say, oh, no, I didn't see that. Then something to pay attention to or, learn on. But I think that stuff is pretty helpful. So we are back up around. So anyway, sorry, let me just finish that thought off. News Squawk. If you want to check out News Squawk, let me throw the banner up here real quick. Hang on one second. Come on, man. I do all this work. My editor gives me this stuff. Why don't I? Why is it not ready for me, man? What do we got going on? There it is. If you want to check out News Squawk, link in the chat. I'm partnered. I'm affiliated. I stand to make money, right? Obviously, I think this is absolutely badass, especially for the markets that we're trading. Maybe in another world where we don't have Trump on Truth Social and conflict in the Middle East and natural disasters and just news blasting the market all over the place, this is not as important. I think some of the fastest source for real-time audio news is going to be helpful. But you got to decide that stuff for yourself. If you want to check it out for $19.99, you could use it for an entire week for that price. 20% off and that 7-day trial. Code RDF going to get you the deal. You can head straight to the site. Link is in the chat. Shout out News Squawk. Talking this trade, man. Sitting patient on this one. This might do something for me here. I'd love to see this run right back up to VWAP after taking a little bit of heat. We are rejecting. We've got the nicest rejection that we've seen so far in this push lower. We're defending this 10:30 a.m. low here. We have ES. What is ES doing? Continuing his drive higher. Back above VWAP. 15-minute bars headed back towards New York Open. NQ on absolute steroids. The monster just pushing to the upside. No remorse for the shorts. Rest in peace, Bears. If you made it through this, I don't know what you were doing. So, yeah, that's what we got going on here, guys. Again, long in here near the 900s on YM. Mean reversion style play. Same stuff that I do almost every damn day. Looking for that move back up here towards VWAP. Maybe we catch some real nice buyers in here. But we'll have to see. Definitely risk for a break and retest here, right? You know, just to make the other case for this. We pushed aggressively lower, right? Maybe we come in here. We break, retest, right? Key level. Volume point of control from yesterday. You know, some lows. Obviously an interesting spot. There was a fight put up where I got long. We could easily retest this area and then, you know, continue lower, right? And I think a lot of people are going to be getting short right in here. Probably why we got some, you know, we got some consolidation, or at least slowing down after we got back up here. But we're going to throw our trades on and let them rip. I've been long NQ every day, but now it has stopped making sense to me. I'd be cautious with NQ. I think that's the problem, right? You know, and I watched that happen. Let's talk about that quick. A lot of guys, you know, that are big continuation traders, they cleaned up in here. Like, I saw big P&Ls, big profits all the way through all-time highs, right? And then it's been really quiet. Like, I haven't seen a lot of guys just, you know, blasting longs, holding for huge movements. Some overnight session stuff, but I have not seen the same as off the lows. And I think that's because of what you just said, right? We get out here and everyone goes, all right, now what do I do? What do I target? Where do I long? Where's the pullback? Like, we're just blasting higher with no remorse. Like, how far is it going to go? How do you hold conviction into no man's land day after day after day after day, right? And, you know, it's just a difference of trading all-time highs. And again, I think that's a, you know, a reflection of why I haven't seen those P&Ls. I haven't seen those huge, you know, movements that we've seen from guys that were, you know, long in here holding to the moon. Someone said, it's not to the moon anymore, it's to the whole galaxy. Yeah, Miguel, I would agree with you on that. I would agree with you on that. Is News Squawk part of CNBC? No. No, it is not. No, it is not. CNBC has, like, different... Squawk is, like, an industry term, just so you guys know. So a lot that term is used a lot. But no, not part of CNBC. Not as far as I'm aware. Not as far as I'm aware. Zach, what version of TradingView do you think is worth getting? Whatever version you need. You know, whatever paid version you need. Let's see. Let's go to the pricing on TradingView. Obviously, you know, we all use TradingView. I have the premium plan, it looks like. Could look at TradingView real quick. So it's free, and then you got essential. It shows me downgrade because I'm logged in right now. Plus, you can see what it gives you, right? Premium. I don't need that. But you know, they've changed a lot. How many historical bars they give you, you know, how many alerts you could set, stuff like that. I thought this was the highest paid plan up until the, like, enterprise stuff, but I guess ultimate is at $200 a month. But whatever you need, right? Just depends on what you need to do. Maybe you need, you know, more alerts. Maybe you need more charts in your, you know, whatever you need to do. Maybe you need more technical indicators. I don't do too much by way of, like, a lot of, you know, use of TradingView. I like to set a lot of alerts. I like to have a couple of different layouts, you know, but you can see, like, I don't have a ton of, you know, overlaid indicators. I don't have tons of charts all in one thing. Like, For backtesting, having a higher paid plan is important. If you're going to backtest on TradingView, you can't go back that far with the lower paid stuff. But just as much as you need, I think. You don't want to throw money away. Yeah. So someone said, I've got premium. I think it's worth it. Definitely wait because they have sales around Black Friday. Yeah. So TradingView has sales. For anybody that doesn't know this, I'm gonna give you some sauce. TradingView throws in a crazy sale, the way a lot of companies do, around Black Friday, but it's like way lower than anything, and you can add to your plan. So like, let's say for me, I'm subscribed now, you can buy more time, which is what I do every single year at Black Friday. I've been doing that for like 3 years now. So I would definitely wait till Black Friday. If you could wait, obviously, like, it's May, so you're probably gonna have to do something. And then you can still get the deal at Black Friday. But they throw a crazy, it's like 80% off for the whole year, whatever it is. And it just makes sense, right? Probably 9 out of 10 people these days, even if you don't trade from TradingView, you're going to use TradingView for charting and alerts and indicators, that type of stuff. So it does make sense for most people. Watching this market, guys, questions, concerns, comments, you want to yap about prop firms, you want to yap about software, news, whatever it is, let me know, man. I'm chilling out with you guys here. Got a long on. Not much for me to do. Somebody, what was the comment here? Got out of NQ now. I'm like, why did I did? No diamond hands. Yeah, come on, man. I'm going to throw this meme up every day for you guys. Every single day, I'm going to put this up on the screen. Diamond hands. Listen to Bruce Lee. Is that who this is? I think this is Bruce Lee. No paper hands, man. No panic selling. Just hold on to your stuff. Hold on to your trades, right? Whatever that means for you. Maybe it's not the 15-minute chart, right? Maybe it's the 1-minute chart or the 30-second chart that you trade, but you still clip your trades early, right? It feels good to close out in profit. It feels good to move your stop loss to break even. It feels good to move your stop loss farther away when you're taking heat, right? Hold on to your trades, man. Set your area where you're considering getting out or however you hold your trades, hang on to your trades, man. Not knowing the GOAT immediately. Yeah. No, I hope that's like, I Googled Bruce Lee to get that. What was my Google on that? Let me see what I actually wrote. Yeah, Bruce Lee diamond hands meme. And I spelled Bruce Lee wrong. So, yeah, hopefully. Guys, don't sue me. I just wanted to make sure. But yeah, hold on to your trades, guys. It's tough to do. If you can't hold on to your trades, set it and forget it. That's a good topic to talk about. Set your take profit, set your stop loss. If you can't manage your trades, which most people cannot, if you're finding yourself, have you just left it alone, you would have made more money, stop touching it. Stop touching it and get away from it. Put the trade on, set alerts just in case those orders don't fill, and log out of everything and run away, run outside, right? That helped me. That helped me a lot, gain some consistency when I started swing trading. I would be putting swing trades on with no intention to manage them, and for no reason at all, I would watch it and, I'd be jacking it up in the middle of it. I'd be moving stops, moving targets, adding, removing, and then I'd go back and go, had I just left every one of these alone, yeah, I would have taken some L's, but I would have taken more winners. My winners would have been more than my losses, and instead, I added, removed, closed out early, left it all the way to the stop loss, right? And of course, what do we end up doing? Holding all the way to the stop loss, adding into losers, moving stop losses away, closing winners out early, going stop loss to break even too early, right? Scaling out too early. It's the exact opposite of what we need to do. Almost the exact opposite of what we need to do. So if you're early on, and I don't think this is the best way to manage your trades. I don't think that it's the most efficient way to manage your trades. But if you can't play the game in easy mode, you can't play it in medium and difficult and expert mode, right? When money's on the line and the P&L's flashing, right? And we're getting close to a payout. We're getting close to take a profit. And, I could put $200 in my bank account right now, right? If I just close it out here, that's not going to get you paid in the long run, right? So put the stop in, put the take profit in, double check everything, and then set an alert at your take profit and at your stop loss, just so you can go back and make sure everything's filled. You can cancel all because there's a risk of doing that. And then walk away. Let that play out. then maybe you try to start to watch it. And you say, I'm still not going to do anything. I'm not going to touch anything, but I'm just going to watch it. Can I sit here and consciously not do anything? Or am I going to jack it up, right? Okay, you can watch the trades. Now maybe you say, I'm going to allow myself to manage this because I find that, if XYZ happens and I adjust my take profit and stop loss, or I scale in and out in this way, I could potentially generate, more positive expectancy through this risk and trade management, right? But if you can't do that first, which most people can't, if you can't handle just watching the trade play out, what makes you think you can manage it? Like, why do you think you could do that? So, I'm not calling you out on that one or saying like that's your problem, but make sure you can handle a fixed take profit and stop loss first. If you can't watch it, throw the trades on, run away. You'll build the correct habit, right, with the training wheels on, even though you're not really watching it, by the P&L. You'll be reinforced for not touching it. And you'll go, okay, I know really clearly if I don't touch this, what happens? Then you got to watch it. And then, you work yourself up to discretionary trade management, from there. But maybe you can't. Maybe you're never able to, and you're going to be more of a swing trader. You're going to be a set it and forget it. Fixed take profit, fixed stop loss. Maybe you're going to be multiple take profits, multiple stop loss levels. Maybe it's automated trade management. You can use ATM settings on TradingView. Trailing stop losses, stop to break even plus an offset, right? Scaling out of positions, scaling into positions. You could do all of that automatically. Still maybe not as efficient as discretionary trade management. But, you got to be real with yourself. What can you do and not do? So, beginners, people starting out, you can't handle it, bro. You can't watch that P&L move. Nobody gets smarter with the trade on, right? That's kind of the saying. So take yourself out of the equation. A lot. And there's nothing wrong with setting fixed take profit and fixed stop loss. Again, I think the argument against that is it's not the most efficient way. I would agree. There's an inherent risk because maybe it doesn't fill. Maybe your stop loss gets hit and your take profit's still there, and all of a sudden you get entered into a trade running with no stop loss and take profit. That's true. Use alerts. Use alerts past your take profit and past your stop loss, and so you could double check. But before that, get away from the screen, and then you build that habit. Okay, this works. I know I need to hold my trades. I know I need to adjust my stop loss. You make some changes, and then you work in and you say, okay, you know what? 7 out of 10 that go 50% to take profit, right? And volume looks like this or some tool looks like this. Those oftentimes come back and stop me out. I know I want to go stop loss to break even at a certain point. So I'm going to allow myself to do that. Then you try to do that and you review your data and you're honest with yourself. Can you handle that? Or are you still jacking it up? Are you still moving stop loss away? You still closing out immediately? Okay, we made $100, X out, right? You're ending up with a stop loss 20 times as big as your take profit, right? So think about that stuff, guys. Huge problem. I used to be, I still could improve. I still think most people still can improve, but that used to be a massive problem with me. Classic, do everything wrong, right? Enter a trade, great position. Soon as it moves in profit, close it out. Stop loss to break even immediately, stop myself out. It moves against me, widen the stop loss, no stop loss, add in, right? All the stuff that doesn't make any sense. The reason that your P&L curve is upside down. So, hopefully that helps. It's been like, watching me trade. Yeah, crypto bros know how it is. Diamond hands. Yeah, man. Do you ever use deep charts? Is TradingView okay, even though it's not order flow platform? I don't use deep charts. I've never used deep charts. TradingView is a great charting platform. It is not an order flow platform. The data is slow. I don't know how to describe it. The way the candles print is slow. It doesn't update and refresh as fast as others. I use order flow on the side, Bookmap, but I'm still here trading off of TradingView. The other that I use actively now is Tradeovate. I've tested with MotiveWave in the past. I think it's a great platform, very advanced. As a Mac user, that was cool for live accounts. I just didn't want to take the time to learn a whole nother platform. I wasn't ever going to chart on it, so just for executions, it wasn't really efficient. But yeah, I would love something that would be like a TradingView chart that's super duper fast with everything else that I want. But we got to deal with what we got, work with what we can work with. Stop talking about me. LOL. Yeah. Well said. 100% agree. Watching you develop your thesis each day has always fascinated me, Zach. A true... Yeah, I mean, for YM, Rhombus. Rhombus as a true contrarian, right? You know, it's a big part of why you get paid. For specific U.S. indices, right? For specific movements. I try to play to my strengths. I try to exploit specific movements in the market, right? You know, but we got to try to do that. But it seems like a lot of you guys, it resonated with the like trade management. And here's what I'll say, guys. Here's what I'll say. We come to trading. I want to yap on this for a minute. We were talking about managing trades, closing out winners early, stop to break even too early, never running a stop loss, moving stop loss farther away, adding into losing positions, right? All of the stuff that so many beginners have done, including myself, right? And why they lose money. Here's why I think that happens. We come to trading with these natural thought processes, right? And philosophy and risk aversion, right? They are, for the markets in general, near the exact opposite of what we need. They cause the exact effect that we are trying to avoid, right? Which is losing money. And they prevent us from the exact effect that we are aiming for, which is making money consistently, right? We do not have a good understanding of probabilities. It is very difficult for us to understand as humans, comprehend. Even as we think we understand it, studies show that we don't act in a way when risk is on the line at all that would indicate that we understand it, right? And when it comes to loss aversion, risk aversion, and what makes sense relative to other things in the world, right? It is the exact opposite. So without going into more detail there, you could take that experience of watching yourself lose money and your downward sloping equity curve and try to recognize that your first gut indication, especially when you're starting out, is probably the exact opposite of what you need to do, right? And think about this logically. We are operating in a pretty boundless market. How on God's green earth, and this was a really tough one, I talk about a lot, I talked about it in podcasts, how on God's green earth, through a large sample size of trades, not blowing up one day on tilt, but on consistent losing trading, are we able to generate such a consistent downward sloping 45-degree angle to the downside? We are probably entering, maybe randomly, but maybe in good spots. We are managing our trades and managing our risk in the exact opposite way that would generate us money. And our equity curve is a mirror image of that. So what you can try to think about is, if I had done the exact opposite, if every time a trade started to move against me, instead of moving stop loss away and widening out and and adding in to the losing trade, continually adding in and trying it again and again and again, I closed out. I closed out early. I did what I was doing right now on my winners. And on my winners, I did what I was doing with my stop losses. I widened out. I ran no take profit, right? Look at what I'm doing right now, guys. I ran no take profit. I held my trade longer. I added in to my winner when the trade was proving me right. Right? There's some different, dynamics around doing this. I would have made money, right? If I could clip my losses early and hold on to my winning trades, it would be pretty much the exact opposite. That's uncomfortable to do, right? We are naturally fearful when we are in profit. We are naturally hopeful that the trade will turn around, begging for price to get back to break even when we are in drawdown. It's the exact opposite that we need to be. And you could read the books on this. I haven't talked about a lot of trading psychology books in a while. I haven't reread a lot of them in a bit. But Trading the Zone by Mark Douglas, Best Loser Wins by Tom Hogard, The Mental Game of Trading by Jared Tendler. That's the challenge here, guys. That's the challenge. And a lot of it comes down to trade management, what you do after the trade is on. And like we were talking about, if you are finding yourself destroying every good trade and amplifying every bad trade, take yourself out of the equation. Maybe you don't have an edge. Maybe you're entering randomly and you're going to lose money anyway. You're never going to know whether or not you even remotely stand a chance to make money if you are just mismanaging every trade. So take yourself out first while you work on your psychology, you work on your trade management, the way you're thinking about your trading, right? And the other piece the other piece of this, like I was starting to say in the beginning, is we have a horrible, horrible understanding of probabilities. We do not hold the core belief system around the nature of probabilities, the math, the statistics behind it. Because it really doesn't help us in the wild, in the world. But we do not hold that as a core belief. And we really need to try to develop it as traders if we're ever going to be operating in a way that makes sense. The market, and here's what I mean by that. The market is extremely random on the short term and fairly consistent on the long term, right? When we put a trade on, we have to deal with conflicting beliefs, a paradox. You have to say, the truth is, I have no idea what's going to happen next. I have absolutely no idea. If I was going to stand a chance, which some trading systems and, BS and people tell you, I'm going to top tick and bottom tick the market because I know exactly what the algos are doing and blah, blah, blah. BS. Complete BS. Nobody knows what the market's going to do next. In order to do that, you would have to be inside the minds of every single market participant, algorithm, trading machine, everything, and every piece of information that was going to impact the market, and then know exactly how everybody was about to react to it. It's impossible, right? So while we say we have no idea whether this next trade is going to be a winner or a loser, I'm only ever going to have whatever your win rate is, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70%, whatever it is, I still am going to put risk on confidently. I'm still standing to make or lose money if the market goes up or down, right? Which would indicate I'm trading in a way where I make money if something happens here, or I lose money if something happens here, because that plays out over a large sample size. That's the nature of probabilities. Very difficult. But the best traders, the best traders hold that as close to a core belief as you possibly can. They are the casino. They don't care about taking losing trades. They don't care about taking winning trades. Really, they're, of course, everybody's happy when they make money. They're happy when they execute well. But the casino does not care when anybody comes in and hits, blackjack. They high five you, right? The dealers go, yay, right? Because they know that if you sit there long enough, that's their job, you're going to lose money. They have an edge. They do not care about the next trade. They don't care about the next, deal of the blackjack table, a spin of a roulette wheel. All they care is that enough volume comes in. And that's the way that we need to think as traders. Are we executing well? Are we reading the market to the best of our abilities? Are we putting our, whatever the iteration of the edge that we're trying to exploit on effectively? Are we managing risk well? If we are, the law of large numbers will play out, right? That's it. But I don't know what's going to happen next. I don't know what's going to happen on this trade, and nobody does. And it's incorrect to talk about it if you did, or think about it if you did. So I think it's really important to think about that. That comes in with trade management. Really comes in with trade management. You would not YOLO your entire account on the next trade if you truly believe that you have no idea what's going to happen next. Why would you do that? You have no edge on the next trade. I don't, you don't, nobody does, right? You have an edge in a large sample size. You have an edge over 20, 30, 100, 500, 1,000 trades, right? Years of trading. So try, and I think what can help here, guys, read the psychology books. Read them, reread them. They do a better job of explaining what I'm talking about right now than me. Read them and reread them over and over and over and over again, man. Then trade. You're going to lose money. You're going to do the wrong thing. You're going to put your hand on the stove. And hopefully enough times after putting your hand on the stove, you go, wow, I've had third-degree burns for the 100th time. I'm going to stop doing that. I know what I need to do, and I'm going to build some discipline. And the last part about that, build some discipline, man. Build some experience on the charts. Build some discipline in your outside life, right? Maybe you don't have to be as extreme as me. Maybe you don't have to run marathons and ultra marathons, and I'm training for another ultra marathon, boys and girls. But build some discipline. That stuff helps me. That stuff helps me. You know what? Like, going to those races and struggling when everything's going wrong and, dealing with pain and doubt and self-doubt and everybody else around you doubting you and going, you know what? I know what I need to do. One foot in front of the other. I'm going to shut all of this out and do what I need to do regardless of the pain, right? In reaction to the pain. That's how you build that. That's how you build that. Experience dulls it. You get a better understanding. You understand what you have to do. You're not so upset about losses. You build confidence. But you're still going to have that natural human reaction. A loss is still going to sting. A win's still going to make you feel good, right, to a degree. But it's how are you creating a different response to that human emotion. So that's the sauce here, guys. That's the sauce. No, let me be really, last thought. No strategy or entry model or however you want to trade is going to generate an edge good enough, strong enough, and big enough to make up for piss poor psychology and trade management and mindset and risk management. Absolutely nothing out there. We spend all of our time focusing on indicators, strategy, the tools that everybody's are using. That's great. It's important. You need an edge. You need to build that over time. It's going to take a long time. You need to actually be doing something that's going to generate some money in the markets, right? But if you have that, which I find is the easier part, the hard part is being able to execute that over and over and over again and deal with the natural winning streaks and losing streaks without completely jacking up everything in between. And that's where everybody struggles, right? You know, they lose money up front because they have no idea what they're doing. And they start to build out a strategy. And then most of them leave after years of losing money because they just cannot execute. So that was a long rant, guys, but that's the sauce. That's where I made a lot of progress. Simplifying my trading, letting go of this belief that I was going to find a holy grail and generate some system that I would never have to really address the elephant in the room, the Achilles heel of just horrible trade, psychology and trading mindset, right? That was needed, and focus a lot on that. How am I thinking about trading? How am I using my experience? How am I using my discretion? Where am I going to allow myself to use that? And how am I going to focus on controlling my risk? How am I going to focus on covering my downside, right? CYA. So that's the sauce. That's the sauce today. I don't have it all figured out. I'm not the best trader in the world. Far from it. I leave that to everybody else that says they're number one trader, right? I'm just a regular idiot on YouTube. That's what's helped me up to this point. That's what I continue to try to focus on. When I step outside of that, at any point, when I really step outside of that whole, spiel that I just gave to you guys, I do worse. I do worse. When I start to hyper focus on anything else, I start to do worse. So that's the sauce. That's the sauce for today, guys. Chat, you guys let me know what you think about that. Risk management is the closest you get to the Holy Grail. Yep. Caught a nice trade off of value area low, up 3K this week. Nice. Zach, are you going to take part in the Tradeify tourney? Yeah. Tradeify launched a trading tournament. It's the first one that I've seen that's not completely just a YOLO fest for clout. Now, I haven't taken part in anything that they've done so far. Tradeify did one, Legends did one, Ninja did one. Tradeify is doing another one. It starts out as a YOLO fest for clout. And here's what I mean. You have a qualifier in which the top, X amount of P&Ls go to the next round, right? And you have a week, and you could reset your account multiple times. What you have to do to get in there is nothing to do with actual trading and risk management that is not risking ruin. You have to risk ruin. You have to full port the account. You have to trade one mini on the largest, or at least you have up to this point, to be the bottom person in, right? It's a massive rate of return. But what I liked about that one, so I'm going to try to do that probably. What I liked about that one is after that qualifier, it stops being that, and it's a one-on-one. You get matched up with a random person, and it's just you versus the other person by way of P&L, which is still a little bit of a YOLO fest, but not really, because you just have to beat the other person. So there's different strategies that can come into play there where you might just take a couple tiny trades and expect the other person to blow up, right? There's no resetting at that point. It's one day, every day you get one person. Again, which is, you have to be a scalper. You have to trade every single day, multiple times. So it's not a reflection, in my opinion, guys, of what a good trader is or a bad trader is. Obviously, that's going to cater to hyper scalpers, super scalpers, momentum traders, low time frame, intraday on NQ or any other volatile asset. But it looks fun. So yeah, I think I'm going to try to get into that. Again, we'll see. You'll see from day one, what it looks like. But I haven't seen them evolve yet. I haven't seen them evolve yet. The Robbins Cup, it's a YOLO fest. It's just a YOLO fest. Full port the account, keep reloading until something hits, and then maybe you do well. But look at the rates of return. They're not really done without risking ruin like an absolute psychopath. So, I think it's important to note that. But yeah, I'm gonna try that one. It looked fun because I'd love to get to one-on-one with people, and I think that would be really funny to watch somebody else's P&L, and you've got to try to stay above them, and it's a little gamified. there's a lot of money on the line. You got to do a lot before you get there. I'm not going to let it take too much away from, like, you know, maybe if we're doing it on the live or something. But I try not to let it, you know, take too much focus away from actually making money in the market, which is what I'm here to do. Not just, you know, trade, you know, for fun on sim accounts. But yeah, that looks cool. It's cool. It also is interesting. They've got 24 people past making it through that first, like, whatever the 1,000 people are. They've got 24 people where if you get matched up, like it's their affiliates and partners and stuff and big traders, if you get matched up with those guys, you go head to head, and if you knock one of them out, it's an immediate like $5,000 or something. You win. If they win, like the prize pool gets cut in half. So it's all this like random fun stuff. But again, it's, you know, it's gamifying. It's they're making a game out of it. But don't lose too much focus from actually trading and actually learning how to trade. You know, because what you have to do there to potentially win or do well, maybe works well on sim accounts that you can reset a bunch of times, probably does, but that's not going to be good risk management. That's not going to be, you know, slow and patient trading, waiting for the market to come to you. No, there's a strict time element, very strict time element. But it looks fun. I give them credit. It looks really cool. They came up with a good idea about how to do this one, and it looks, you know, fun. So. Signed up for Ninja and Tradeify YOLO Fest. Yeah. Any trips for work market? I don't know what that is. Running around, got back, passed by 50 Lucigate. Nice! Mike, K-Gang, what's up, man? What else do we talk about? Yo, personally, I think we are trained to trade wrong. Everything you were told is a scam. You have to find a system that works for you. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Absolutely. Guys, we got this trade pushed to the upside. I will be right back. I'm gonna grab some water. BRB, chat. Back in action with you guys. Let's see, man. Let's see if we can't catch the Dubski on the live, man. Let's see what we can do here. Let's see what we can do here. Chat. Chatty McChat chat. Let's see, man. Let's see what we can do. Didn't even grab my drink. Let's see what we can do. Chatty McChat chat. We just want to retest VWAP and come back down. We want to push through. This is a key spot right here, man. Current volume point of control. I'm holding for a push through this. This is an interesting spot, though, guys. I do have to say, right here, right now, you know, if there was a point on the chart that we could reverse from, That's not going to be VWAP or right here, which I would like to see. This could be it, right? You know, looking at volume point of control, current volume point of control from yesterday and today, you know, I'm waiting for us to come back up here, get back up to the top end of this. You know, we could just chop down here. We could turn to the downside from down here. This definitely could be a problem. I do want to note that just for trade management. For me, I'm going to hold it. You know, I don't like as much heat as I had to take on this. You know, better entry would have helped me out a little bit as well. But this just really isn't enough for me. You know, I want to see the crack up here. Give me 200 points, $1,000 towards the top end of yesterday, right? Where we consolidated quite a bit. I do think this is a key level. I think we could easily return up here. I'm not looking for this to be a huge day. You know, I don't need that even close. But I'm looking for around the 100s, 50,000 100s. You know, but here we are, obviously, right? Key level, key high volume area. Where are we, right? Big round psychological number. Big round psychological number. Next, which Purple Ninja asked about. You see, I remember what you guys say. VWAP, right? You know, holding through VWAP, holding for a push above VWAP or below VWAP if I'm long or short, right? For this one, I'm looking for those 100s, close to the 100s. So that would be, you know, above where VWAP is now. Not where VWAP was, you know, in the overnight session, right? To generate a nice W on this. But show me $500 of profit. Can't be upset. More profit than heat so far. I like my trade. I'm happy about it. It's been paying me. You know, these guys are kind of choppy, and that's what I was expecting so far for this, you know, this pre-NFP Thursday. A little bit of a pullback here on NQ. What do we think, chat? Oh, that's not it. What do we think, chat? Chat. Again, danger point right here, right? Danger point. Got to get above. Got to get above those 50,000s towards the 50s, the 100s. I think to really pick up a little bit more steam. Could test down here. Could chop back around. No stop loss to break even, for sure. You know, that's not going to help me right here. I think that would just generate a stop out for sure at a spot that I don't want to be out. We could turn, right? We could easily pull, like we talked about, even here. Could pull that here, right? And again, I'm sure we're going to see some sellers in there. But yeah, I'm not looking to be a hero here, guys. I'm not looking to be a hero. The tough part of this one, specifically, just talking about this trade, and again, this is dynamic, right? You know, we've now had quite a bit more price and volume, you know, print, right? Now I'm talking about this trade as the time goes on. We now, you know, have our volume point of control where we're at right now, right at the 50,000s, and a high volume node right here that's continued to get higher as we're sitting here trading right here, right now. You know, the argument could be made for that mean reversion, reversal style back towards the middle ground, that this is the middle ground, right? You know, so talking about leaving trades on and off, you know, we're coming right into the middle. Let's be exact with it. Of today's daily candle right here, right? This is the 50% mark. This is the mean, right? This is the middle. I don't want to hold through the high for a continuation. You know, that's not my play. And I don't love to be holding to the top end of it, right? I don't love to have to be holding to the top end of it. I like to trade from the extreme back to the middle ground, back towards VWAP, volume points of control that are in here. So, you know, there's a case to be made for this one that had to take some heat. Market pushed lower. Yes, we ran a wide stop to start. We're back towards that point. Holding above this, we're starting to hold back for more of a bullish move, right? We're starting to hold not just to the mean, not just to the, you know, the middle ground, but to the high end, right? You know, to the top end. We still got quite a bit of price action, market structure up here, you know, so I don't mind looking for it in here. I don't mind looking for it in here. But this is a problem area, obviously, as we're seeing right now. But for me, all that said, I'm going to hold on to it. But I'd like to note, I like to make that note. Could chop around in here and start to sell off, and that would not be too fun. But this really isn't enough for me just yet, at least on this trade right here, right now. I'm not fading the all-time high. I'm trying to trade with the trend. Again, we did dip our toe lower. We could shake out weak longs here before NFP. I'm kind of surprised that we didn't get something like that on NQ. I thought like NQ might grind higher Friday, and before it did that, at some point this week, we would get like a nasty wick lower where it's going to look, okay, that's the top's in, and it's not the top. But we didn't really get that. We've just continued to grind higher. Just nonstop. So anyway, long story short, holding long. Holding long here. Show me 100 points of profit. I'm hanging on. How we doing, chat? Short. 50 cents short of passing. Oh, I was 50. Oh my gosh. Had to micro and hope to pass the last 50 cents. Yeah. Yeah, if you end up, that's always a tough one, man. Like, what do you do if you end up a couple dollars short, right? Now you got to take a dumb, no-edge, scalpy trade with micros and hope you don't start running the thing back in. It's tough. If I say I'm eyeballing a short near VWAP, I'd be mid. Are you going to put a contract out on me? No, of course not. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Right? If you're a continuation style trader, if you're looking for, this break and retest to the downside to continue, I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all. I don't think there's anything wrong with the short right in here, right? Again, reading price action and market structure as the trade plays out, I think is important. Continuing to just read the market to the best of your abilities, right? Like I just had a long spiel about this area. Let's see. I'm not going to be surprised if we catch a rejection from here. Why? All the reasons that I talked about. I'm happy to be at that point in my trading where I can get a feel for some of that. So no, absolutely not, man. Fade me. Send it. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. A little so scary. Yeah, all index to the moon. Yeah. Yeah, indexes are strong. Chatty McChat chat. Let me know what you guys got going on. Long, short, how are you reading this? What are you trading? How are you trading? Let me do the check-in. How's the trading day going, guys? How are we making out today? Yeah, a little bit of a pullback. A little bit of a pullback here on NQ. A little bit of a pullback right at pre-market highs. Right at pre-market highs for ES. Just a 2 ticks below. Couple hairs short. Not good for my YM trade. Not great for my YM trade. There we go. Current volume point of control. Temporary volume point of control. It's a problem. It's a problem. Hey, sir, I'm new here. Plus 407 on the day on longs from ES earlier. Nice. Caught the pop on NQ and out. Now just chilling. Nice. Very nice. Locked up for the day. Prob the week. I may leave the funded till the start of next week. First day fund is always a mess for me. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with starting out slow. On ES longs, but I didn't tag. But it didn't tag all-time highs. Yeah. You're probably targeting that high, man. Got close. Got close. Yeah, man. I'm gonna see what tomorrow looks like. I got a handful of things to take care of. Of course, also, guys. Liquidity coming off the book. Volatile movements. Could have headlines breaking here.
Connected to multi-asset channel.
We got headlines breaking here, guys. Iran's foreign ministry spokesperson to IRNA. Maybe that was Iran? I don't know. Not yet reached a conclusion on proposal and no response been given to the U.S. Yeah. That's not great. Anyway. I'll keep you guys updated. Yeah, we talked about that. Keep you guys updated. Let me run through a couple things here, guys. Number one. Welcome to the show, guys. Welcome to the effing show. Appreciate you guys being here. Y'all are awesome. I really appreciate you guys being here. If you're not in the 100% free Discord, which I'm throwing in chat, here's the link in chat. Hop in there, verify your email, be part of the live streams every day, get the weekly emails. Here we go. Here we go on the headlines. Be part of the giveaways, right? Ask questions, have them answered, join a community of over 3,000 traders. Get the best deals on prop firms, software, everything that I use, all that fun stuff. I'll keep you guys updated on tomorrow. I got a handful of things to start to take care of ahead of next week. I'll be live almost every single day, 9:15 a.m. Eastern. Next week, out of the office latter part of the week in Tampa. Be live trading in Tampa, just not here on my YouTube. Live Monday and Tuesday next week. We got a giveaway rolling. If you are buying prop firm accounts, which I'm assuming you are if you're here, and if you're buying prop firm accounts from any one of the major prop firms that I'm partnered and affiliated with, which maybe you are, maybe you're not, use code RDF. Support me, support the channel, support yourself with the best deal, because code RDF will always match or beat whatever the best deal is from the firm, and get a chance to win free prop accounts. All the infos and details and links and everything you need is pinned to the chat and in Discord. If you guys have questions, feel free, hop in Discord, let me know. I'll be doing, I think, announcing that winner on Monday, all the way through this week. Multiple entries for multiple accounts. You load up on accounts, you're going to get multiple entries. Going to pick 5 winners. Pick 5 winners for that one. Along with that, guys, if you want to check out any of the prop firms that I'm trading with, Top 1 Futures, Lucid, Tradeify, Alpha, Take Profit Trader, feel free, check the links out, and get all the details in Discord. Appreciate you guys being here. Thank you for being here. You guys are awesome. I'm going to wrap it up. I'm leaving this one running. I hate this turn back down to the downside. All the way back. If I was stopped to break even, this would have been a stop out for break even. Not enough of a move in my direction for me to take profit on this one, albeit a danger point. Am I surprised that we turned right there where we were talking about it? No. Am I upset about it? No. It's the market. You know, headlines moving the market around. Part of the game. So, quick disclaimer, guys. I'm not a financial advisor. I don't provide financial advice. Nothing I say or do is suggestion or recommendation to do anything at all. Make sure you always do your own research. Make your own trading decisions. Read CFTC Rule 4.41 on simulated trading, which is what this is, even in funded prop firm accounts. As the market dumps here. Chat. Read CFTC Rule 4.41 on simulated trading, which is what this is, even in funded prop firm accounts. And the affiliate partnership disclaimer. This is how I stay to make money from links to codes in my content. Like Top 1 Futures code RDF, Bookmap, and others. Can't be unbiased if I stand to make money, which I do. Important for me to note that, for you to do your own research, make your own decisions. Appreciate you guys. I'll talk to you later. I'll keep you updated on this trade in Discord. You know where my stop is. You know where my target is. My area for target is. Ending this around break even. Let's see what we do from here. Talk to you guys soon. See you in Discord.